Thanks for having me, Rebecca. I'm Alex Stark. I'm one of three co-founders at OGEE and CMO. And at OGEE, we are a certified organic skincare and makeup brand, and we do, we grew a lot DTC, and now we're omni-channel. And I originally was doing all the managing the marketing DTC, and now trying to leverage that marketing power for omni-channel as well.
And what kind of like sparked the idea to start OGEE?
Well, my brother is what sparked the idea. He's one of the three co-founders, and he worked at a manufacturing company that made beauty products. And this was in like 2014. And he saw this space that he worked at this company where they made these products. And he has a story that they're making products for one of the biggest beauty companies in the world. And they started banning plastic microbeads. And he went to his lab. He's like, well, we don't have to worry about this, do we? And they're like, well, actually, that's the second ingredient in the biggest product that we make for them. Like, we're making millions a year. And my brother's like, wow, like we're just like feeding people microplastic beads. We could do a lot better than that, and the ingredient technology had come a long ways. But at that time, like truly certified organic brands were like kind of these brown packaging, hippie, patchouli smelling brands that people didn't think worked well, that didn't feel luxurious. And he had the idea of why couldn't we combine luxury with a clinical effectiveness and be truly clean and certified organic to this high degree. And so then I rode on his coattails, basically, with that idea is what happened.
And what do you think that you guys did differently that helped you stand out in such a saturated market?
You know, I think it was, we went above and beyond like the standard of clean beauty and got this certified organic. We got the certification, which, you know, in the beginning, I thought that was just something you pay someone for and they give you a stamp and then it's easy. But it turns out it's actually very challenging. So I think we built this moat around us. We made these incredible products with this high certification that's really hard to do. Like, you know, if I knew how hard it was to do in the beginning, I might not have done the company because it was so challenging. But now that we've done it, I think that gave us a lot of power to stand out in the market. And then it came down to our marketing, because like you can be the most special company in the world, but if you don't get good at the marketing, no one will know that you're special.
And that's something that you've really gotten good at as well, like personally, isn't it? As like you've developed as like a founder, like to really understand the hows and the whys and what makes it work.
Yeah, definitely. We early on, we weren't doing that well. Like we're like, well, we have these amazing products. Why isn't anyone paying attention? Because we weren't good at the marketing. And I was, I came from a completely different background. I was a ship's captain in the offshore oil and gas industry. So like as far as you could probably be from, a beauty marketing guy. And we had consultants and experts that we thought were good at that time because they had a good resume, but we weren't doing well enough. And like, we didn't know like what good looked like. And then I just started getting more involved because we just weren't doing well. And I was like, someone in our company needs to like figure this out to know if the people we're hiring are actually doing a good job.
And do you think there was like a decision or a turning point that's like accelerated your growth from like 7 to 9 figures?
Yeah, definitely. And this might sound like propaganda, but it's not. This is true. So I met Rebecca back in 2016, 2017. We originally got built on a custom site, not Shopify. We started a company in Vermont. We were talked into like these nice locals, like, oh, you need a custom site. And back to the point of not knowing enough, we listened to them. We spent like $100,000, took forever to make this site. It worked terribly. To make like a button change color, like those conversion rate optimization tests, those never would have happened. We couldn't do anything on it. And I was like, we're going to fail if we don't get a better website. And so I started looking, and somehow I found you in Manchester, from Vermont, Manchester, UK. And I got on a call with you, and I just trusted you. Like you guys were pretty new at that time. And we talked to like much bigger agencies. Like, I don't know, I just trust these people in the United Kingdom for maybe the accent sold me. But so we went with you guys, and then shortly after, like, you should talk to my fiance, Peter, who might not want the shout out, but Peter, and you should have him look at your ads. He's really good at ads. And I was already feeling like we're not doing something well enough. And he's like, he looked at him and he's like, oh man, with his accent that I can't do. He's like, it's terrible. And I was feeling it already. And to have somebody else say that, so instantly we completely changed our strategy. And we were trying to make all these big hi-fi creatives and do all these crazy things that we weren't good at. And he's like, just get your phone. Do you have any friends or family members you can film. And we had this one employee I think we had 2 employees at the time, and I just went and filmed her on my iPhone. And I think we went from spending like 20 grand a month on Meta to hundreds of thousands in like a few months with Peter. And Rebecca moved our site to Shopify, and like those things were game changers. And I think that was like a really good lesson, and just like listening to my gut, you know. And I think that's a lot of growth in business, is like everyone's coming at you and everyone's an expert, and like some are, but most aren't. And to like trust your gut. I think it was trusting my gut that then like made some good decisions that like moved us forward.
And then talk a little bit about like the creative led and the creator led influences that you've leveraged for like growth, and like how you structure those relationships to cover like awareness, affinity, and conversion.
Yeah. So that kind of started with our employee Sandy at the time, who like became the face of OGEE very quickly, because we were just then filming her all the time. And then it became really clear that even at that time, you know, like creative was huge for success on online advertising. And it was such an unlock that you could just make UGC with your phone, you know. But then we started filming all our friends and family, and like the problem was like most of it didn't hit. Like that one person hit, but then the 20 other people we got didn't. And I was like, wow, we just need a lot of this to find those unicorn creatives. And so we hired someone full time to just start working with creators and reaching out. And the big unlock was to stop worrying about how many followers they had. Like, just make the only criteria is, do they make good content? Like, I don't care who, because all we want to do is run it as an ad, you know. That's to just feed our creative pipeline. And that was huge. Was once we stopped caring about their follower count and just started doing a lot of, you know, free product trade for content with really small creators, that started feeding the pipeline, where we started getting, you know, the nano, the micro creators, just getting a ton of creatives. We just had this engine going for our advertising, and we just really scaled quickly with advertising.
And you're still doing that now? Like, you're still like constantly finding new creators to work with?
Yeah, we got up to like 5 full-time people in our creator program with this huge pipeline where we're sending out 750 to 1,000 different people every month. And part of it's there's different strategies with it, where part is for awareness, like impressions from the organic posts they make. Part of it's to make sure we have at least a few hundred pieces of creative every month that we have ad rights to. Part of it's for like just aesthetic content to post on our organic channels. So we have different goals with it, and part of it's creator retention. Like if a new creator is good, then we move them into our retention program, where every month, if we send out to 1,000 people, 250 are returning creators, which then creates like super fans, you know.
And how should people get started with it if they've not really like explored creators? Like, what's like an easy way in?
Well, I think don't overcomplicate it. I think like anybody can be a creator, you know. Like our employee became like the best creator ever. Like, we spent probably millions of dollars on that person, on her creatives very quickly. And most of our creatives, like the top unicorn creators we just spent so much money on, were people that weren't famous in any way, had small followings, is to not overcomplicate it. Like, just see some people on Instagram or TikTok that make good creatives, and try to find people with small followings and just send them your product and say like, hey, can you take a video of this very simply, and like just give them simple guidelines of like, make sure the lighting's good, make sure you can see the product well, make sure it's obvious what the product is, and let them be authentic. And just like get don't like make it too complicated. Don't try to get a million different softwares at first. Just use an Excel spreadsheet and just start sending products to people.
And you guys driving like 2.5x more conversions and a 3x like higher AOV from like having AI powered on-site product recommendations and content. Like, how did that change the way that customers were exploring the range of products that you offer?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, we learned quickly that like ads are one part of the job, and then like your website's a huge part of like closing the deal. Like, you can have the best ad in the world, the best click-through rate, best everything, but once they get to your site, if you can't close the deal, like, you're gonna struggle. And the site personalization, you know, is huge. If you can speak more to that individual person, and I think with AI, it gives you the opportunity that more than ever. So like leveraging AI tools, leveraging conversion rate optimization stuff is just huge for helping performance.
Has there been like any specific optimization strategies that you've implemented that have reduced any like friction in that purchase flow, like especially on mobile?
Yeah, I think, you know, just doing small conversion rate optimizations, like getting an agency like you guys that is doing it for you so you consistently do it. Because whenever we try to do it on our own, like we just don't consistently do it. And those little wins, like a 3% gain on a product page, which is like your money making page, or on your flyout cart or wherever, a 2 or 3% gain is massive. If you're spending tons of money a month on ads and it improves your conversion by 3%, it's huge. So just doing a lot of tests, and like a lot of them are small things, like on mobile, increasing the font size a lot of times, like the simplest thing in the title of the product. A lot of times the biggest win that we found on mobile is like the simplest possible changes, and it's like a massive win. So I'd say that's one of them. Doing a lot with the flyout cart on mobile and doing like cross sells and upsells for mobile and desktop, just as many places as possible, like hit people with cross sells and upsells.
And like for brands that are trying to scale through like Meta or influence marketing right now, like what's your top recommendation that they can like start getting tested with?
Well, I would go back to just like start sending out products to people, and still to this day, like we spend millions a month on ads, and we have internal teams that make creatives, we have external creative producers, and we have this huge creator program that I mentioned. And to this day, nothing beats the unedited creatives that our creators make. You know, we spend money on all sorts of different creatives, but it's that lo-fi UGC. So just start sending out products, get ad rights, and put them in Meta, or pretty much any of the ad platforms, but really Meta still is like the boss. The creative does the targeting, like everyone says, and you need to feed it a lot of creatives, you know, like to find that unicorn creative that will give you outsized performance. So focus on just getting a lot of creatives.
And what's next for OGEE?
Well, world domination, obviously. I think I mentioned we're getting more into omni-channel. We're now in Blue Mercury's throughout the country, and we're in Nordstrom's. We're going to another really huge retailer soon. And so it's kind of learning that, like how to measure success when it's not just measuring on your website and Amazon and some of the online channels, but now like trying to measure that offline, which is a challenge to do that.
How did you find going into retail? Like, was it a real shift in like mindset to start speaking to customers in a different way and not having like total control over that full journey?
Yeah, it's exciting. Like, I think it's important because we found, I think broadening where people can get you, like being wherever people want to buy, is really important, because there's still a huge amount of people that only will buy in stores, especially in beauty. You know, it's crazy to me because I don't want to buy anything in a store really, but I don't want to leave my house. And just to see, like, you know, when we launched on Amazon in the beginning, like, people were like, oh, it was luxury Amazon. And it's like, it turns out everything is on Amazon. Like, you just need to be there. Like, if you're spending a lot on ads and you're not on Amazon, you're just losing sales. Like, we're going to like take your sales because we're on Amazon, or whoever your competitors will take your sales. And I think that's similar with being brick and mortar. It's like, if you're not there, people are seeing your ads. Those Meta ads, those TikTok ads, whatever ads are driving awareness in stores. So I wish we did it earlier, because, like, you know, we spend a lot, and also the creator program we have, like, we get like 500 million impressions a year organically from those posts now. And like all these people are coming to stores asking about OGEE, and we weren't there yet. So I wish we did it earlier. But with all that said, it's also a lot of work. It's like a whole new skill set. So I think it's important to hire people that are like experts, and hopefully your gut steers you to the right experts for that.
Well, a massive thank you for sharing all of your insights and wisdom. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.